I still buy magazines, even though we have the internet and Pinterest and Instagram and blogs and all of these amazing places where we can find really cool photos and inspiration and pictures of houses and all that kind of stuff. I still buy magazines. And one of the magazines that I really like is called Mingle. And it's all about putting parties together, creating tablescapes, creating the party area and the ambiance. And that's actually something we're going to talk about today in Scripture. I think I'm supposed to, according to YouTube rules and the YouTube gurus and all that kind of stuff, is I should always make my content so you could go to it anytime and listen and watch and all of that and really not have much idea what time of year it is. But I'm just going to break that rule now because I like to break rules. That's what they're there for. So next week is Thanksgiving. And I am just guessing you are either thinking about whose house you're going to go to for Thanksgiving dinner, or you're getting ready to serve Thanksgiving dinner and you're doing all the prep and you're looking for recipes and you're pulling out your dishes and glasses and all of your flatware to see what you're going to use and what's going to work and if you have enough. And those are things that I actually love. I adore putting together a tablescape or decorating an entire room for a party or a get-together or something. And that is going to bring me to Psalms 23, the infamous 23rd Psalm. But I'm only looking at only one verse in the 23rd Psalm, and that is the 5th verse. It's Psalm 23:5. And there are so many really good translations of this one verse. And I'm just going to go through it. I won't read all the translations, but there's a couple, 2 or 3 that are really, really good. The NET says, "You prepare a feast before me in plain sight of my enemies." The NIV says, "You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies." The NLT, New Living Translation, says, "You prepare a feast for me in the presence of my enemies. You welcome me as a guest." The Message, which I really like the paraphrase with the Message, it says, "You serve me a 6-course dinner right in front of my enemies." I love that. That is so cool. And then the BBE says, "You make ready a table for me in front of my haters." So let's just take this apart a little bit, because this is one of those verses that has been coming up constantly the last 3 weeks to me. Every time I turn around, there is some version, some leading, something going back to Psalm 23, verse 5. I want to start with, "You prepare a table before me." Is that not the epitome of a tablescape? But think about that. Here is the God of the universe, the creator, putting dishes on a table, food on a table that he's preparing for you. Right now, preparing for you a table, and he's doing it in front of your enemies. Now, I know we always go to, well, so-and-so at work drives me crazy, and that person at church is just on my last nerve. This is not what I'm thinking about when I'm reading the word enemies. I'm thinking about one enemy, the enemy that is constantly badgering and throwing fiery darts at us and all of those things. And you know exactly who I'm talking about. That is actually the enemy I'm thinking about, because here is God preparing this magnificent table. I think bringing out the finest china, the best crystal, flowers that are fresh, that we have never even seen before because they're from the kingdom and we could not imagine how fabulous they are. And he's doing it right in front of the enemy. And he's saying, guess what? This one is mine. I'm fixing a meal. I'm preparing a feast for this one because this one is mine. You don't get to sit at this table. You don't get to take anything off of this table. You don't get to even say where the table goes. You got nothing because this one is my child, and this is the table I am preparing specifically for this child of mine. So let's go a little bit crazier, shall we say? What if the table that this drives me, I'm like so excited. What if the table that God is preparing for you is the table that has, instead of all the food and the banquet, what if this is the table that has all of the gifts, all of the excitement and joy that He has prepared for you? Everything you're going to do with Him, all the plans, what if it has the map? What if this table has a map on it and it's all of the places that you're going to go, everywhere God is going to take you? What if this table has a blueprint? What if the table holds the blueprint and the itinerary and everything that God has for you that you're going to build together? And He's preparing this and He's putting it on this table. And He's putting it on the table before you. And the enemy is standing there just chomping at the bit, ready to rip that blueprint up, ready to take that map and tear it to shreds, to throw roadblocks up, to do everything he can to keep you from seeing what God has for you. All the joy, all the places you're going to go, all the excitement and things you're going to explore. What if this is what's on that table? What if that table is covered with the treasures that He is prepared for you? The treasures that are people that you're going to meet and that are going to impact your life, and you're going to impact their life. What if this table has all of the places you're going to go? What if that map is a treasure map, and once He shows it to you and prepares it and puts it on the table in front of you, you get to look at it and He starts revealing to you all of these amazing things and places you're going to go, and you're going to discover these things. This is what just like I get crazy over this kind of stuff. It's so exciting for me because we look at this and we go, okay, it says He's preparing a feast. It says He's preparing a table in the presence of the enemies. And this table basically is this idea of a banquet, that you would go to a king and he would have a banquet. I get that. I am stretching the context a little bit. But then when it goes on to say that you welcome me as a guest and my cup overflows, and in one of these, let me see, hold on, I'm reading this. One of them, it says, my cup overflows with blessings in the New Living Translation. Blessings. That's not food. That is not food. That is blessings. That's so much more than something you're going to eat. Okay, but wait, hold on. What if what He's prepared on that table that you're going to eat is His Word? What if He's preparing to reveal to you and show you how to read His Word, and you get to eat these words of His and take them in as one of the prophets did, and know that His Word is right there and He's preparing it for you, that yes, His Word is His Word, and there's, translations and all of these things, but when you start digging into it and He starts showing you, oh yes, here's this verse, but guess what? Remember the one over in the New Testament, and it echoes this one? It's like all of a sudden this whole world opens up to you. And then what if what is on that table that He's preparing for you is all of the information? What if it's all of the wisdom? What if it's all the wisdom that He's going to give you through the books? What if that table is stacked with books and information and everything to know and understand, wisdom and knowledge? What if that's what's on that table? I know. I'm going I'm going in like a million different directions here. But you have to think about, and I'm thinking about this silly magazine called Mingle, because when a table is prepared and you have a theme for a party, you build everything, as you know, on the tablescape, everything in the area wherever the party is, you build it on that theme. What if this feast he's preparing, what if this table that he prepares before you in the presence of your enemies or enemy, what if this table is a theme? Okay, now let's go one step further. What if the theme of this table that he's preparing changes? So you have one time frame in your life, your 20 to 30s, let's say that. And that table for your 20 to 30s looks different than the table from 30 to 40. And that table looks different from, say, 40 to 45, because we go through these seasons in our life and things change and situations change and events happen. And what if the cup running over with blessings is that the seasons keep changing and he keeps changing what's on the table setting, the table scape, the table theme. What if it continues and continues and continues, because he has so much for you, far more than you could ever imagine, guess, or request in your wildest dreams. I keep going back to Ephesians 3:20. It's stuck in my head. I'm sorry. It's just stuck there. But if we grasp this and we really go, what if this table is way more, way deeper, way more important than, oh, you prepare a feast before me in plain sight of my enemies. There's nothing wrong with that. It's fabulous. But you want to realize that enemy, God's preparing that table in front of that enemy because he has so much that he wants to share with you, because you belong to him. You are his and he is yours. It's like, I need better words. I can't find better words. I keep looking for words. If you have better words, send me the words, because I need more words. Less words? I don't know. Different words. We'll go with different. Okay, so wow. Thanksgiving next week. What are you putting on your table? What are you preparing your table to look like? Are you doing a tablescape? Are you doing pretty candles and greenery and flowers and all the good stuff? Or, is it paper plates, which is totally fine. Got no problem with that. But while you're planning and prepping for Thanksgiving, what about the table that God is preparing?